All right, guys. As Sina said, my name is Arjun, and I'm a DevOps engineer at InRhythms, and currently I've been working at Mastercard. To reiterate, the Splunk is not a tool it is not complicated as like Lisp or like Vim, But yeah, Splunk is an awesome tool, and let's get started with Splunk. I've tried to keep my this slide will actually talk about it's I've kept it very basic so that people who don't know what Splunk is and who are planning to start with Splunk, to learn Splunk, this will be very useful for them. Okay, so basically to start with, I would like to talk about the major components, important components that the Splunk has. Like the search head, which is basically used for searching and reporting, and the indexer. So this is something which is very interesting. You know what? Splunk is a big data tool because it does not have its own. It does not have a database. So all it does is it indexes the data from the database. So that's the main reason Splunk is a big data tool. That's where when the more optimized query you write, the performance gets better. So since it does not query the database, I think that's one of the reason Splunk is very quick in what it does. And the forwarder is just like a client that has to be installed on the remote machine that's that communicate to the Splunk. Universal forwarder is something that actually provisions this the secure communication and deployment. So it basically, if you can actually have you can have a complete visibility across the entire stack. It is a DevOps tool. It's basically a monitoring tool which you can use it with all these components to the best. Okay, so coming to the core products and cost details. So Splunk is today available in three major forms. Like one is Splunk Enterprise, and another one is Splunk Cloud, and Splunk Lite. So basically, for the Splunk Enterprise, you need to have a Splunk admin. Suppose when you plan to go for Splunk Enterprise, you need to have it installed in your data center, and you need to have a Splunk admin who's looking after it. If you plan to go for Splunk Cloud, it is totally taken care by Splunk. I mean, the community, they take care of it, the maintenance, everything. You don't have to bother about taking care of any hardware or buying hardware or stuff like that. They completely take care of it. And Splunk Lite it's basically used for, it's a sort of hybrid. It uses both Splunk Enterprise as well as Splunk Cloud. It's used for small IT environments. So basically, coming to the cost, the more data you index, the less you end up paying. So that's how Splunk works. That's the main reason Splunk is called used in big data. And this is a query that a simple query that actually I wrote. I don't know if you guys can see it. So this checks for if the web if a particular web server is experiencing any issues, and it looked for a problem that is greater than status 399 HTTP status code. So yeah, it's as simple as that. The Splunk, if anyone can write a Splunk query if they know SQL queries. So if you know SQL, Splunk is going to be very easy for you. Or if not, but still Splunk is going to be easy for you if you learn it from the Splunk course. If you take it online on their websites, Splunk Learning, they have they teach you from scratch. So it's very easy even if you don't know SQL. So coming to the benefits of the Splunk, it reduces your mean time to the resolution really very less. Before, it used to take hours together to to debug as to where the issue is, and to address the issue and reach out to the particular team. But today that's not the case. With the Splunk, you can immediately set an alert and notify the concerned team, and you can index huge amount of data. You can have the input in the form of CSV file, JSON file, or even as simple as Excel files. And Splunk can span across tens and thousands of remote machine collecting the log details, and you can make some valuable insight out of it, and it can accurately predict the resources needed to scale up your infrastructure as well. So I think these are some of the major benefits of using Splunk. And so what next? So I think there are other impressive monitoring tools as well that we can we can actually have a look at as well. So one is Nagios and another one is Hygia. I think, yeah, I missed on the name there, but yeah, the second one down at the bottom is the Hygia part. Of late, actually, Justin and I were working on Hygia. Hygia is a very interesting tool which actually gives you a sort of overall view of like your build status and it complete a sort of view of like what's happening in every environment, your performance, and things like that. It's an interesting tool, but Nagios is also an interesting tool. Well, as compared to Splunk uses a lot of log. Splunk is mostly dependent on log for you to make any analysis, whereas Nagios is used for the things which need not have really which is not dependent on log. Nagios, suppose let's say if your Apache is not is down and it's not getting the HTTP. It's not actually what do we call it? It's let's say if your Apache is down, apart from the things that do not have log, let's say like CPU usage, like the processor time, this and all are the things that actually Nagios can help you with. Yeah, Nagios also is an interesting tool. And coming to community support, Splunk really has a amazing community support. The moment you post a question, I think at least not I cannot promise you by one day, but yeah, within a week or so, you will definitely have an answer for it. But that's not a case with Hygia, because we had a lot of trouble in installing. So Justin and I have gone through it. So yeah, Nagios also has a pretty good community support. So yeah, so monitoring is something that any organization has to have in place to have everything running up and smooth. So that is pretty much from my end, guys. So that I had here. I would like to take a question, as Matt was saying, but I will keep that for end.
All right. Thank you.